Today, for you, I have a 2022 Ruby Red Grapefruit. Hints of citrus on the nose.
Original vintage?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Safeway.
Thank you, Safeway. Plug hashtag grocery across the street.
No, this is actually just in my fridge.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Okay,
We're talking about happy hour in Coeur d'Alene.
Yes. We are, okay, this video today is part 2 of our restaurant series.
Yes.
And as you might recall, our first restaurant series part was Girls' Night Out.
Yes.
And we went through our recommendations as longtime residents of Coeur d'Alene, what we feel are, best
the go-to spots.
Yes.
Yeah.
So today it's about happy hour.
Happy hour.
And who doesn't love a happy hour? Sometimes it's a necessity.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we just got to find some friends and get away from work and, have a pre-dinner, get home and take care of the chores and kids and things like that beverage, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to break down some of our favorite or, the most well-known happy hour spots around town.
Yeah.
Yes. So we kind of have these broken up
Before we do that, though,
You're right.
we have to ask for you guys to hang out with us every
Yes.
week, right? Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications, comment. If you're like, why didn't you put this one on your happy hour list? Put it in the comments.
Yes. We
If
want
you're
people
like
to know.
hidden gem or I'm opening a restaurant, let us know
Yes.
for our restaurant series.
Yes. We want to know because we want to spread the word
Yeah.
about
Kind
activities.
of like our local plugs too.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
People
For
that we
sure.
want to support and who
Yes.
just really hit the nail on the head with whatever they're trying to do.
Yes, absolutely. So if you know of someone or something, or if you've got the word on the street,
Yeah,
this is opening
insider
up,
information.
Yeah,
We want that too.
definitely. And if you have questions, I know that this isn't real estate related, but you're like, hey, I'm coming into town.
Yeah. Where should I eat?
Where should I eat? Where should I go? That's what this restaurant series is about. But obviously, we can only cover so much. And we'd love to cover all of them. But if you have questions about anything, reach out to us. Shoot us a text, email, phone call, where we'll be happy to give you an itinerary list of things to do while you're here in town.
I love it. I love playing tour guide.
Yes.
I'll give you all the recommendations.
Yes.
All the things.
Sammy's a connoisseur of restaurants and drink establishments. So
I like to not be at home.
Luke would also say the same thing.
Yeah, him and I are both like, where are we going? We're just we don't sit still very well.
Yes.
So I'm like, what's next on the agenda?
Where can we eat tonight?
Where can we eat tonight? And I'm a good cook too.
Yeah.
I just want to let that known. It's not because I can't cook a meal. I can cook a very good meal. I just like to be out.
Yes, there's something about socializing and
Yeah.
being with your friends and having someone else make the drinks and the
Yeah.
snacks for you that just makes it that much more enjoyable. So
Yeah.
let's get
into it.
Our first set of happy hour recommendations are probably more for those that enjoy the beer and the hoppy, the ales, that kind of vein of alcoholic beverages. Craft beers, yeah. Where to get a good beer in town with a good patio, potentially, some good snacks. So first on the list we have is Crafted. Crafted is a tap house downtown Coeur d'Alene. In the summertime especially, they've got amazing patio seating. They've got fireplaces for the nighttime or even in the fall time when it gets a little cooler outside. They've got a huge menu too of not just beers on tap. They've got 20 plus, 30 plus beers on tap, I think, but they've got a whole menu too. So in terms of, if you need dinner or snack, they've got lots of stuff.
Right.
My recommendation for snack there as well would be the sweet potato gorgonzola fries.
Gorgonzola cheese dip.
Yes.
With I think there's like a balsamic reduction on the top too.
Yep. Yeah, some green onions.
So good.
So good. And
And
they've
then,
got,
they have that pretzel there too.
yes. That's really good. And the cheese.
Yeah, it's like a sweet pretzel, but they give you syrup and like a cheese sauce to dip it in. So it's like an interesting, but I love a good soft pretzel. So I'll try if there's a soft pretzel on the menu anywhere I go, I'll usually order it.
Yes.
Pretzel connoisseur.
Are you German?
No.
I'm kidding. I know you're Italian.
I'm a Sicilian. The crazy Italians.
Very specific, yes. But Crafted has a ton of drink options, especially obviously on the beer side.
But
sure.
they're kind of like known for beers on tap. They've got a lot of different style beers as well. They had like they'll have like a raspberry cider or something, so they've got ciders on theirs. They've got sours. They've got, your porters, your stouts, kind of every little category of beer you could really want. They've got something for everybody, right? So
yeah.
But and interesting ones too. I know they had like a grapefruit Hefeweizen on for a while. So just kind of like different, interesting beers. But they try to feature a lot of local, like more local breweries as well, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
But yeah, just overall kind of like a fairly standard craft beer tap house, but it's got a cool kind of like industrial theme going on as well. So it's not just like a sports bar, right?
Yeah.
Which, no knock on the sports bars, but it's just kind of more of that like modern feel, I guess.
And I guess we could also plug really quick, right next door to Crafted is a full like liquored bar.
They're connected.
Yeah, they're connected, and they share a kitchen. So, if for some reason you want a hard liquor beverage,
you can get it all.
Pop right in, and they're right next door. Pop in over there and get snacks and get an alcoholic beverage.
Again, they serve the menu on both sides. So if you're at Crafted and your brother wants a craft beer and you don't, you can have a little vodka soda, whatever you want. So it's kind of like a good little, everyone can be happy there.
Yes, everyone gets
something for everyone.
Something for everyone, exactly.
Like, what are we trying to say?
Yeah, something for everyone.
It's happening.
Yes. So next thing on the list in this kind of brewery tap house category is Daft Badger. Yes. And Daft Badger, they only have their own
beers,
beverage,
right?
their own beers on tap. And I want to say they typically have like 10 or fewer beers. Yeah.
So not as wide of a selection. Yes. I feel like their whole thing is like quality of our things over just throwing on 60 beers on tap, right?
Yeah.
But very cool. Again, if you're a local beer drinker, especially, Daft Badger. It's a very cool, just a cool vibe. Like it's a smaller restaurant.
Yep.
They have actually been able to like enclose their patio for the wintertime, which is pretty cool. I love that we have like all of this new like technology almost for like outside seating, transforming it. Yeah.
COVID really drove the ability to turn some of these spaces that have that have a lot of outdoor space for the summertime to enclose it and make it usable in the colder weather months. Yeah. So it's
so they've kind of were able to expand, which is nice now that it's gotten colder. But again, and their food, I feel like Daft Badger is like low key has one of the best menus in town.
Oh, totally.
Their food is so good. Their chef over there is very talented. They have like bacon in a cup. You can order just like a pint of bacon.
Glazed,
is it huckleberry?
Glazed bacon, delicious.
It's so good.
Nachos, pulled pork
Their
nachos.
special is always, whatever it is always so good.
They have good soup there. Yes. My favorite, they've got these sandwiches. It's like a brie apple
with
sandwich.
Like arugula on there.
Yes, it's so good. So lots of, and I would say Daft is really like a true like happy hour spot because they're not open all day, every day. It's like, like your 2 to 3 to like 7 to 8, and then they're closed. They're not open until like, midnight. Yeah. They're not, open for lunch really. Yeah. So it definitely is that late afternoon, early evening spot with the beers. Yeah. And in all honesty, Daft Badger beers have a really high percentage of alcohol. And I mean, me personally, if I drink 3 of them, I probably will have a bit of a hangover in the morning. Like, ooh.
You're like, I'm good.
Yeah. So it's
meant to be like have a drink or 2 after, work, or like maybe like a day drinking situation, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit heavier, like higher alcohol percentages in those beers.
Yes.
So like that is kind of like pretty across the board, though, when you get into like craft beers. You're like,
yeah.
whoa, this is 11%. What is
high
happening?
octane.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Not your standard 4.5%.
Right. So just be cautious.
Yeah.
Check the alcohol
Proceed
percentage.
with caution at Daft Badger.
Go crazy, but just be aware.
Yeah, exactly. You might need a ride home.
Right. Cool. Last on our beer list is Post Falls Brewing. So again, Post Falls, almost right on the river. You're not quite all the way down there.
Yep.
But this kind of cool location in that kind of up and coming Post Falls. But I think when I think of like a craft beer house, I think Post Falls Brewing kind of like hits it on the head. Like pretty check the boxes. It's like this kind of cool industrial open space. The bar is actually like very huge.
Yeah.
They've got a ton of beers on tap. You can kind of see their like production, their beer production. They kind of have it like through like a glass that you can see, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So like when you really think of, like a Denver brewery, when you're going, you can kind of see the production value of it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the vibe that I get when I go to Post Falls Brewing.
For sure.
Cool for sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've got kind of, again, like Daft Badger, they've got a ton of stuff that they make in-house. They serve their own concoctions. They do have a couple of ciders that they, and I don't know if those are made in-house there or if they deliver the kegs.
I'm not sure.
But they have a couple of things, I think, on tap that come from out of house in.
Yeah.
But it's like just a couple, but the like 90% of it's all made in-house. And they have like outdoor seating. They do like concerts, they have yard games, and so obviously it's great in the summertime too when we can get outside. They've got the food truck out there for snacks. So I want to say the last time I was there we had some like tacos.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like it's a taco truck.
Yeah, taco truck type of thing, but great, especially if you're in the Post Falls area. These first 2 that we listed were kind of midtown and downtown. This is Post Falls. This services, everyone that kind of lives in that vicinity south of the river. Post Falls area, it's easy to get to. It's right off the Spokane I-90 exit. So Post Falls Brewing, recommendation for happy hour, especially in that craft brew sector. So, okay, so next section on the list, I would say involves a lot more like wine and cocktails, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then I would say too, part of this happy hour experience in a lot of these is like the tapas and the like finger foods and appetizers.
Snacks.
Yeah. So if you're looking for that type of happy hour, we've got you covered here. So first and foremost,
Bardenay's.
Yeah.
Yes. So Bardenay again is in this like Riverstone area. A couple cool little restaurants and shops and stuff up there. But Bardenay has been one of the, I think, first restaurants that popped in when that all started to become a bit more developed. So there's this little like man-made lake that with a little walking path around it, kind of playground area. So Bardenay sits overlooking this cute like little man-made lake. So the view is really cool. They have this really awesome patio again for like summertime. It's pretty big. But the restaurant actually inside itself is also large. So I feel like any of your seasons, you're pretty okay to get in, right? You're never ever like a super long wait. But they actually do like a true happy hour, where all their tapas, they do like skewers and things like that. They're like half off, I believe. So they do like a true happy hour. I feel like Coeur d'Alene is kind of like this place where we don't have like a ton of like specials. I feel like for happy hour, it's more of just like a vibe. But Bardenay's does like a true happy hour. So. they do like half off some of their appetizers, and then like $1 off glass pours of wine or something like that. They distill. A full bar. Yeah, they have a full bar. They distill their own vodka, gin, and rum.
Yep.
So they have their whole little distillery area that you can, again, kind of same thing with the Post Falls Brewing. You can see that production, which is kind of cool. But yeah, and they've got a really, I feel like, wide range menu just in general.
Yes.
That little ahi that they have on there is pretty good,
yes.
like appetizer wise.
Ahi.
Yeah.
Lots of good
but
salads.
Like sandwiches, lots of really good salads. Entrees if your happy hour turns into dinner, which I feel like 9 times out of 10 that kind of happens.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, their food is good. Their drinks are good. They've got a lot of interesting cocktails, kind of craft cocktails on that side. A pretty good variety of wine as well. I think it's an all around, again, kind of checks boxes for multiple different like taste levels.
Yeah, for sure. So next on the list is a newer spot in town called Stylus Wine Bar. And they are it's a really fun spot because the owners are really into vinyl records and music.
Yeah.
And I think from like the standpoint of what is the personality of this bar or this, this establishment, they've created this really cool kind of like, I don't want to say hipster, but I mean it's like music is like it's the identity,
like a focal point, essentially. It's a focal point. So it's like it's loud. Robbie and Krista French are the owners. I'm like, shout out, we love them so much. Robbie's a professional musician, so he's like music guy, and then Krista is this amazing, so smart sommelier. I think she's at least, I actually don't know what level she is, so I'm not going to say that. But really talented sommelier, really talented musician. They're married, give us this perfect, beautiful wine bar. I love Stylus so much.
The food is awesome.
The food is so good. Yeah. It's, again, kind of just like different. You're not just going to go and be like, oh, here's a Caesar salad and like a charcuterie board. They have like very interesting dishes. They do like brunch on Sundays. They've got any menu that has burrata as an appetizer. I'm like, absolutely, sign me up for that.
We'll take 3.
So I'll take 1 for each person at the table. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that a big focal point is the music. It's loud in there, honestly. It's not somewhere where you're gonna go and it's gonna be like background
intimate
music. Like it's loud. They play. They'll have like themed days of what music they're playing. They just started doing these listening rooms, which I don't know if you saw that they had just posted. So they're doing these listening rooms essentially, and it's focused on obviously like a record, and there's like an intermission essentially. So you have to come on time, you buy, bottle service or whatever. Oh, cool. And then it's like this immersive like musical experience. It's very cool, and again, loud and like kind of dark. They like set like lighting.
Oh, I've seen them.
Yeah. So I think they just did their second one.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
But then it's like, okay, little intermission, and then you can like reorder drinks or like, what, but you're like, it's quiet, like you can't talk. It's like, this is what we're doing. Like we're listening to this music.
So it's like a concert almost.
Yeah, it's like very interesting.
That.
So it's like, I'm loving what they're doing. It's something very different that I feel like we don't have in town.
No,
it's really cool. It's in this Midtown. I love Midtown because I live in Midtown. So I'm like, yes, anything in Midtown I love. Great location.
Yeah.
The build out was perfect. I just think that they did such a good job, and I'm really excited to have something kind of different in Coeur d'Alene. Yeah.
This definitely has a very distinct personality for drinking.
It's really like obviously they have like an amazing menu, but I am going to stand by. It's not really like a child friendly place. Like it's. You're here to like listen to loud music and like drink good wine.
Yeah. And
your kids shouldn't be running around. I'm just going to say it. So.
Now you could send your kids to like Bardenay.
Yes.
You could bring the whole family to Bardenay,
right.
Yeah.
But this is like maybe just bring your adult friends.
Yeah. True happy hour.
Yes.
Yes. Adults only.
They're not going to leave your kid at the door, but maybe you should.
Yeah. Or in the car or something.
Leave them in the car.
I'm kidding.
There's a Panda Express across the street.
Yeah, just kidding.
Just kidding.
Okay, so next up on the list is an old Coeur d'Alene establishment, Whispers.
Whispers.
It is the cocktail bar inside the resort. I feel like if there was a word to describe Whispers, it would be swanky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like sexy.
Yeah, like dim lighting, especially when the sun goes down. They've got like an outdoor patio area. Again, outdoor patio areas in North Idaho are big money makers in the summertime because we get so much summertime, and so we have to maximize it. But one thing that's been great in the last handful of years is this invention of these igloos or pods. So you can rent those out, and they get heated up in the winter time, and so you can kind of utilize that space. But Whispers is inside the resort. Lots of like loungy style chairs, and it feels very like masculine and like, you know,
it's kind of like when you think of like a hotel bar, because essentially that's what it is.
Exactly.
But I don't think the resort is a hotel because we live here, right?
It's an extension of my living room.
I know.
Actually.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually in a hotel. But yeah, when you kind of think about a hotel bar, there's like different levels, you know, kind of like that sunken in feeling.
Like the sunken living room, 70s.
Yes,
like,
it kind of has that vibe.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yeah. They have all sorts of, you know, the cocktails, the wine. They have snacks. One of my favorite snacks at Whispers is the Cougar Gold cheese dip with the handmade chips and the pepperoncinis. Like, just really, really yummy stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a great meeting spot. One of the things that I kind of love about Whispers is they've got these little, just these little tables and the chairs.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you've got a group of 2 or a group of 20, you can move and rearrange all the furniture at Whispers. Like, hey, we've taken over this spot over here, or let's go grab that little corner over there.
Right.
But you can move everything around. And you can't go into a normal restaurant and just move the furniture around.
It's definitely
create your own alcove for your group.
Hi, we have 15 people. We're going to take over this corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the tables aren't like bolted into the ground.
No, nothing is. And so it's kind of fun to just go in there and be like, okay, we're going to take that chair. Let's group it up over here. And so Whispers is a great happy hour spot. It's, you know, right downtown. A lot of people who work and live downtown and who may even, you know, in the summertime especially, like want to get out on their boat because the marina's right there. It's like, let's meet up at Whispers. Let's grab something at Whispers. And it's just a fun spot. And you've got the views of the marina and the lake and everything. So.
The shuttle to the golf course, the shuttle boats, they take off kind of right at the marina where Whispers patio overlooks. So if you've got an event out at the golf course event center, you know, like, oh, well, we're gonna do a little cocktail, you know, we're staying at the resort, like, let's go down to the bar and then hop on the shuttle. It's just kind of like your one-stop shop.
Yes, it's perfect. It's a great location. So next on the list,
Cork and Tap.
Back to Riverstone.
Yeah, I feel like we're just bouncing around. I feel like we have to put Cork and Tap on here because if you're a real estate agent.
Oh my goodness.
For whatever reason, it's like moths to a flame, that place. We're like, oh, you see the same people there almost every time you're in. But kind of another little wine bar. They've got local beers on tap as well. So it's almost like that fusion of like craft cocktails, or craft beer and then wine. You can do like a little locker. They have almost like a
club.
Yeah, they have a club, but like a little, what am I trying to say? Like a store even. So you can like go in and like buy, they have bottles of wine there that you can buy. We've had like some parties in Bellerive where we're like, oh, we didn't bring anything, like stop by the Cork and Tap and buy a bottle of wine really quick. It's like just kind of quick and convenient. They've got some games in it too, like skee ball and shuffleboard. So
and Cork and Tap is not again, it's kind of like the Daft Badger. It's like late afternoon, evening type of thing. We gotta hold please, we got an emergency coming through. But Cork and Tap, they don't have a full menu. They've got like some snacks on there, and they have some specials that they make. Cheese board, things like that. But it's not meant to be like, oh, let's go grab dinner. It's like, no, let's go get some wine and have a good time. And they've got music usually.
I was gonna say, they do a lot of live music there.
Yeah, lots of live music. But Lots of different wines and craft beers on tap. I know because I sometimes can't just drink wine all day or all evening. They've got other stuff there too, some seltzers and some other like
I think
ciders.
maybe some canned cocktails, I want to say.
Yeah, some stuff there too.
They have Jello shots.
Yes. But it's just a great spot to stop in. I feel like a lot of people I know are stopping in there after work on any given day of the week.
There's a lot of office space in Riverstone now too. So I think that's kind of like become a hub almost for like the little offices that work in Riverstone will just go pop into Cork Tap after and like have a little drink, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So next up on the list is another Riverstone spot. This is definitely more of a restaurant, but I think that from what I've heard, now I have disclaimer, I've not been to the happy hour at Terraza, but I've heard from people that they enjoy it. They've got some cocktails there, snacks, appetizers, things like that.
Yeah, like there are chips and salsa and like guac and those like little elote cakes. I think those are all kind of on their happy hour, I think at like half off. So it's really a pretty good deal. And then all their, I think their like specialty margaritas are also like discounted for happy hour. But right on the river. So Terraza's got a cool little view. It's right on the Spokane River in Riverstone. It's a newer restaurant within the last like year or so now, like just barely maybe a year.
Yeah.
So really like I feel like kind of that Seattle-y or maybe even like
it feels like something from a big city.
Yeah, it's like I got a city feel. It's all very like open but then there's like plants everywhere. You know, I just feel like we are always so far behind on like
behind the trends.
Behind the trends that when Terraza opened, I was like, oh, this is like very trendy. Yeah. And you'll kind of notice in the summertime, especially when you're in there, it's a lot of like you'll see like your Gazer Ranch and your Black Rock and like those kind of people will come in because it does have this like more upscale kind of like trendy vibe. Yeah. And the food's a little bit different. It's South American. Yep. But they do some really cool margaritas. You know, off the beaten path, not just like your traditional. Yes. You know. Yeah. Salted.
So if you're looking for kind of like non-American, you know, if you're looking for margaritas, chips and salsa, you know, stuff like that, I feel like if that's your craving, you definitely want to be at Terraza after work and grab some of those snacks and drinks, right? Okay. The last on this list in terms of like what we were talking about, like true happy hour, mixed drinks, snacks is Oval Office. And this is a Post Falls establishment. Yes.
Oval Office, I feel like, is the OG of happy hour.
I agree. I completely agree.
They've been doing happy hour forever.
They can take that claim to the grave.
And I think that it's not even just like the OG, but like probably one of the better happy hours. Yes. Consistently.
Yes. Yeah. One disclaimer at the moment. They're not open because they're remodeling. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the draws to Oval Office because it was so small and it was like, you know, everyone, the food, the drinks, their like sister restaurant was a couple doors down. Oh my God. White House. I can't believe I went blank on that. And then the owner also has the Pentagon over in Liberty Lake. Yeah. So they've got a couple of these kind of Greek-themed restaurants. Yeah. But the Oval Office was like happy hour, tapas. Yeah. Really good beverages.
Yeah, super yummy like craft cocktails. I feel like when craft cocktails started becoming like trendy, they you know, we're like
before they were trendy.
Yeah. So that's why like when we're saying like OG of happy hour, at least in our area, it's really they've been around for years and years and years and
catering to that demographic.
Yeah, exactly.
People for sure.
Yeah.
But they are remodeling, they're expanding. It's going to be awesome. And I think it'll be great, even though I think we'll miss the small, quaint Oval Office experience. Just the fact that they're going to be able to, you know, service more people and, you know, there's not going to be the wait. There's going to be more tables and easier to get into. Yeah. That'll only, I mean, make the experience better. But they definitely don't sleep on the Oval Office when it comes back. It's going to come back with a bang. So
absolutely.
Yes. Now, the last two on this list, are definitely more specific summertime.
Yeah, they're seasonal, so they're not even open.
They're not open
They're not open right now. So this year I feel like they were able to stay open a little bit longer because it was so warm through October here.
Yes.
But typically it's like once it starts to cool down, because there's not even an inside. These are literally patios.
Just patios.
So we've got the Buoy, which is right on the base of Tubbs Hill. Yes. Yeah. So there's like that little marina out there again, kind of off to the side of the resort boat launch. Mm-hmm. So just right there at that kind of like little pavilion. But you've got kind of just think again, like quick grab stuff. So you've got beers on tap, White Claws, seltzers, whatever. Yep. And then they've got a bunch of like little frozen drinks that are really good. Food wise, it's like burgers, fish tacos, chicken strips, kind of your just snacky, outside food. But the view is amazing. It's like just this big patio
on the marina
that just looks out, a little peek out of Tubbs Hill, out to the marina in this, completely, no wake zone area. So you can like paddleboard around it. It's good for your kids. The park is super close.
Yep.
We love the Buoy.
Yeah.
I'm always like, when are they opening?
I know.
Yeah.
And they do this special that they've run the past couple of years, the local special. And what they do is you essentially purchase a credit with them that, you can, so like if we were on a walk around Tubbs Hill or we were playing in the park and we wanted to go grab some food or a drink, we could pop in there and you wouldn't necessarily need to run a card. It's like, hey, I purchased a $150 credit, and usually they double it. So then you purchase $150, but you get $300. Or 100, you get 200, and it's like just come in, pop in, and put it on my tab. And so
it's almost like it's free because I already paid for it, right?
Yep. It's free.
I'm like, I have credit at the Buoy. Let's just go there.
It's a sunk cost.
Yeah, exactly. We've already paid for it, so it's fine.
Yes,
but it is nice. Yeah, if, especially when you're doing the Tubbs thing and maybe you left your wallet in the car or whatever, you can just kind of pop in and be like, oh, you can just put it on take it off my credit essentially.
Yep, exactly.
But they do live music a lot down there as well. Yep. So they used to just kind of do. I think every Friday they did it, but I think they were up to like about 3 times a week minimum this summer.
Yep.
But the guys who own it are like young and fun, and they're constantly trying to do like little pop-up events, and it's cool to see how they evolved. They started out as like a little boat, like literally that's what it was, like the Buoy. They were like on this like boat
in the lake,
and they were like, call us and we'll bring you
a
whatever.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see how that's evolved over the years, and for this to now be like a,
it's a staple.
It's a staple in the summer. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's good again, kind of like family friendly as well. You're even right where your kids can swim, where you can see them essentially, and still like have a drink or a snack. So, and then last but not least on our list, I would feel like we've had a lot to talk about.
Oh my gosh.
Whoops. But Boardwalk Bar, we love the Boardwalk Bar.
Yes.
Again, another resort establishment. It's on the opposite side of the resort from the Buoy, close to City Beach and then Independence Point. So it's kind of right over there, past like the clock tower. So if you guys are familiar with Coeur, you know exactly what we're talking about.
It's at the I guess depending on what side you go into, like the mouth of the boardwalk that goes around the resort marina. And that is a 3/4 of a mile long boardwalk that goes around the marina. So the Boardwalk Bar, they serve all sorts of cocktails and beers, seltzers. They've got the derailers there where they put the buckets with all the big straws that come out of them, and like the little gummies in there, and they've got like 5 different alcohols and some like juice and stuff in there.
So if you're over 24 years old, just don't try.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. But it's cool.
They're delicious, but they're hard to drink.
Oh, totally. You need multiple people.
They won't serve it to one person.
No,
it's like illegal.
It's
a literal bucket of alcohol.
But in the summertime, this like deck patio area just juts out over onto the lake, and they've got like this grassy area too. And so like all these people that are walking and milling around can come in and just pop into this random little bar that just sits out, you know, at the edge of the resort between that and City Park. And it's a great little watering hole.
It's cool. It's kind of like walk-up style as well, because once you're... So that is all resort property. So you can walk up to your little boardwalk bar, grab a drink, go walk the boardwalk.
Yeah, exactly.
It's, you know, resort property.
Yeah.
Take your little cocktail, do your walk, and then you pop out on the other side, and then you can go to the buoy. It's like, there you go.
Yep, exactly.
But that little grassy area is kind of cool too, because the patio is 21 and over. You can't, your kids can't go in because it's just kind of so much limited spacing in general. But that little grassy spot, you can obviously order your drinks, sit in the yard, you know, if you like bring a little blanket and just kind of hang out. It's shaded over there most of the time. It's just like a cool little like local, like kind of like watering hole. Yeah.
And then also like right diagonally across from the bar area where you order, there's the massive yard space. People are out there like throwing frisbee. They got their dogs running around, you know. So
it's good people watching.
Yeah, great people watching, and then easy access,
more activities.
Yeah. So
so you have a lot of places to go drink this weekend.
Lots of recommendations. Obviously, the last two we talked about aren't going to be available until like next May, June. But don't forget those next year. And if you, again, have any of your own recommendations, or you know of something that's opening or coming up, we always love to hear about those things. This is Restaurant Series Part 2, Happy Hour. Hopefully you enjoyed some of these recommendations. Go check them out. Go patronize them. We would love to hear about anything that you know of that we didn't cover. And if there's a lot of suggestions, maybe we do Happy Hour 2.0 where we talk about even more stuff. But thanks for joining us as always. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can stay up to date on what's coming out next week.
Yeah.
And we'll see you then.
See you next week. Bye.